your Blackboard account first. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your Gmail account, and you're going to connect to the spreadsheet. So to do that, you go to this little waffle thing and choose Sheets. Okay. So while you're doing that, and let me see, did I share that yet? Anybody? Share. There we go. So what you go to is you're going to go to your Gmail, for student Gmail account, and then you're going to click on the waffle, and then click on Sheets, and then it'll open up a separate tab for Sheets. Okay, so so just grab one of the computers that's already open. I've got somebody taking a test next door, so I'm just going to run over there for just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you some data. I don't think I did. I didn't send you any data, did I? So let me okay. So let me send this to everybody. What am I doing? Blackboard? Yeah, you got a Blackboard. Go to your mailbox, go to your Gmail, and then click on the waffle, and then choose Sheets. Okay. So you should be able to go to your Gmail account and find a file. And what I want you to do is just to download it onto your computer. So if you download it onto one of my computers, you'll just have to log into the downloads folder. For people who have your own computers, just download it somewhere. I'm just seeing if I got my copy of the thing. Has anybody gotten it yet? Okay, so there you should get an email that looks like that, and I'm going to save mine. So however you download a file in Gmail, just save it to whatever. I'm going to save it to downloads. The file that I have sent you is called, I just tried to find some data sets, monthly crude oil production by state from 1981 to 2016. It has a .csv to it, which stands for comma separated something. It's not an Excel file. It's a text file with a using a comma to separate the data. So, has everyone, how many people have downloaded their data? Okay, you can get your sheets up. So go to the little waffle.
I went to the waffle and it's coming up this shit right here.
Home screen is temporary. Huh? Is anybody else? Oh, it's just you. That's weird.
I shouldn't watch.
Can you watch Eli so you can get close enough? Okay. Now, if you open that up and you have Excel on your computer, it'll open up Excel, but we don't want to do that. We're all going to get into use the Google Docs just so everybody's consistent. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a new spreadsheet. So push the little plus sign. So there's your spreadsheet. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to import that data. So you'll go to File, Import, and what we want to do is we want to upload it because this information here is what's on your Google Drive. Yes. Well, we're uploading the data from my computer to the Google Drive. If I was taking from Google Drive and moving it to my computer, that would be download. So it's, yeah. So if you click upload, you'll select your file from your computer. So wherever you saved it, and I saved mine under downloads. What I do a lot of times, because I have a lot of junk, is I do the search bar according to date. So I do the most recent one first, and that way it finds my file that I just saved. So once you find it, you just double click on it. And what we're going to do is we want to replace the current sheet, and we're going to let it detect it automatically, and that should work. So let's see what happens. So there's my data, which should be your data. Okay, so we'll let me know if you're having problems, and I'll come around. Yeah, let me see what you got there. So what you choose is replace spreadsheet. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know. I saw it and then it disappeared. I don't know what happened. Oh, okay, there we go. Just say import. It'll come up in a second. Yep. Okay. Okay. So you just want to save that somewhere. So download it. So you'll download it. So it's downloaded it probably to your download directory. And then we'll go back to our spreadsheet and we'll create a new spreadsheet. Or is this the one? No, it's another. You did one back there in November. So you'll did it finally ever come up for you? Or?
No, I'm just sitting here
enjoying life. Yeah, I know. Just say import. Oh, yeah. So actually, it's being imported into your spreadsheet online. So you do upload, select the file from the computer. We'll go to downloads, and it should be right there. Yeah. So, there you go. No, thanks. Okay, so what we have is a list of data, and the first column is the date. It's in date format, And I erased a lot of stuff just so we had a not such a huge database. What they do is they looked at each state and recorded the amount of production in thousands of barrels per month. So there's about 400 data points there. So there's a lot of data which we don't want to have to do manually. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to calculate some basic statistics on some of this data. And so let's one thing let's write down. I'm going to write on the board just so I know which columns, what the data is involved, so it'll make it easier in the long run. So so Pennsylvania, that's column B, and that goes, the data goes from cell number 2 down to, and they all go down. If you just take your cursor here and go down to where you see the data end. So at some point it's going to end. There we go. So it goes down to 432. So it's B2 to B432. So that's the range that I'm interested in. So go down to the bottom of the column. And what we can do is calculate some mean values. So, and I'm going to have you send, so make sure you do this because I'm going to ask you to email it to me later, so I know you've been, except for Tanner's still not getting it to work. He's sending me emails. I have to shut my email so he doesn't bother me. But yeah, okay. There, I'm ignoring Tanner now. So so I'm going to put my cursor down here, and I'm just going to type in mean just as a label for this particular row. So you're going to say equals, type in average, and notice as you type stuff in that it gives you suggestions. So there's other stuff that we're not worried about, different kinds of averages. So we're going to do the average, and we're going to do it from cell B2, and then you put a colon in, and then B432 and a right parenthesis. So the average production for the Pennsylvania field is 265 barrels per day, per month, 1,000 barrels per month. Okay, everybody got that? Now, I also want to see what the averages are for these two. So rather than having to re-enter the data, you highlight the column, the cell that you just did, you grab the corner and you just drag it over. And what that does is it copies the formula. So we see that, I think the last one is California or something like that. So California has a lot more oil than Pennsylvania, even though what's the significance of Pennsylvania and oil? Pardon me? The oil slick? Oh, the oil state. Yeah, it's called the, what is it called? It's it might be, but I think the first oil was discovered in Pennsylvania. So it's kind of where they found it, but that's not where the most oil is. Have you got yours to work yet? Oh, finally got it working? Good. Okay, I wonder what was going on with yours. Oh, you're in Excel? Yeah. Well, if you want, I'm not going to, well, you have to go, Eli, show them how to get in there. Get into your, okay. Well, let me see if I can get Tanner going here, and then we'll, so what you're going to do is okay, so you got your Gmail. Okay. Oh, you downloaded it? Yeah, we downloaded it. Okay, I'm going to close that thing. Okay. No, I done lost everything. Well, right here to Google. Well, you like Google better than? Yeah, I got everything pulled up on Google. Oh, okay, you do. Okay, now how do you import? What you do is you import it, and then you upload select file from the computer. You go to your downloads directory, and there it is. And you double click it, and then you say replace current sheet, and then import. There you go. So now you're in business. Pardon me? Oh, really? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like mushrooms. They're great on my pizza. Pizza and mushrooms. Mushroom pizza. Okay. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to format the data, because you notice that the numbers, the original data is only rounded off to single digits, and we've got our average, which has all these extra digits. So what we would do is you highlight the 3 cells that you want to format, and you go to Format in the menu, and then you click Number. So it is a number. It's already a number. The thing is, we want to change the number of digits that we want to show. So if we click Number, they're probably going to give us a choice of, well, that didn't help. Okay, let's start again. Let's go back. Format. Yeah, this is different than I'm more used to Excel, so it did round it off to 2 decimal places, but let's go here to more formats. Let's see, custom number formats. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick this one right there, the one that just doesn't have any extra decimals, and we're going to apply that, and you can see the answer now has been rounded off to single digits. So pardon me? You go to Format, and then you go to Number, and you go all the way down to the bottom, which it says somewhere here. It goes outside of my screen, custom number formats. And that way you can see what the result is going to look like. So I chose this one. Okay. So those are the mean. All we're doing there is we're adding all the numbers up in the column, dividing by the total number, 431, I guess, 431 numbers. Okay, what are we going to do next? Oh, let's find the median of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a column between these two so I can put my information that I'm calculating. So to insert a column, you put your cursor over top of the letter corresponding to the column, and it highlights the column. And then you right-click, and we want to insert a row to the left, which way? To the left of the one that I have highlighted. So now I've got an empty column there. And so in that column, I'm going to put the numbers from the beginning to the end. So just use your cursor to get back to the beginning. And I'm going to, well, one thing we've got to do is we've got to order them. So actually, what we're going to do is we're not going to do that. We're just going to copy this column of data to a new sheet. So to add a new sheet, you go down here and do the plus sign. So that's an empty sheet. To go between sheets, you just click on the tabs. Okay, now, I just want to copy this data. I need to order it in sequential order, and I don't want to have to do that manually, of course. So click on the top cell in that column, that's numbers, and just drag it down until you have the whole set of data highlighted. Now in Google Docs, you have to use the shortcuts for the various cut, paste, and copy commands. So copy is Control C, and cut is Control X, and paste is Control V, which you could use in Excel as well. This is not limited to it. I use those to cut and paste. I don't usually go up to the menu. So once it's highlighted, push Control and then C, because we're going to copy the data. You'll notice that it's got this little dashed line around it. If I then go to Sheet 2 and I do Control V, you should get your data pasted to the second sheet. So I use Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Everybody okay with that? Yeah, you've got one of those. Is that a Mac or not? Yeah, that's always, yeah, that's what they're telling you.
I don't really understand it. It's my boyfriend's.
Oh, is it? Okay. So let me come back over here. Hopefully you have control keys on your.
That's what came up when I hit Control C.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where's the escape button? Well, yeah, I'm not a Mac expert, so you could always use one of the other computers that's consistent, but you're going to have to use this anyway for your project, so let's see what we have. Okay, so we're going to highlight the whole data, and then we use Control.
Oh, maybe it's Command.
Maybe that's it. So let's try that. Command V. Hey, there you go. Now we learned. So on a Mac, it's Command and not Control. Was that on the description, or had you figure that out? Oh, did it? Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you have a Mac, you use Command C and Command V. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sort the data numerically. Now we can use the built-in function to calculate the median, but we're just demonstrating how you do it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to excuse me. We're going to highlight the data again. All 400 and something. Yeah. There's probably some shortcut that. Oops, went too far. So there's 431 data points. So there's an odd number of data points. Okay, so you go to Data and Sort by Column. Sort Range by Column. And remember, if you do this one, it does it from smallest to largest. This was the other way around. So we click that, and now it's ordered. So we can, the next column, we could just use this because I've started in column or in row 1. I know that I could use those numbers to figure out where the median is. But we'll go ahead and put the numbers in anyway. So if you put 1 in the first cell, B1, and 2 in cell B2, and you highlight the 2 cells, what that does is it says, oh, you must be thinking about following the same pattern that you've already established, which means start at 1, increment by 1s. And so again, if you drag that all the way down to the bottom again, it should, yeah, I'll come and show you in a second. Okay. Oh, apparently that went too fast. If anybody knows a shortcut, so I don't have to do this. What is it?
You click on the first box you want to select, and
yeah.
Go down to the bottom one, and you hold Shift and click that, and it'll highlight everything between.
Okay, so let's try that. So if I did this, and then what you do?
And go to the bottom.
Go to the bottom, yeah.
Where you want to go.
And then you.
Shift.
Oh. Oh, okay. There you go. So yes, if you wanted to do that. So let me just undo what I just did to show you how you do that. So we do that, and then we go down to the bottom of the data. So I'm using the side cursor thing here to do that. Then you would do Shift, click, and that highlighted it, but it didn't. So you can figure out what. So that's anyway. Let me redo here so I can get it back in there. So I'll think about that later. So what I've done is I've just put numbers next to the data. So I'm coming back to help Adriana. Show you. What's that? Oh, she told you. Okay, thanks. Yeah, if you can help somebody next to you before I get to you, that's fine. Okay, so we have 431 data points, I think, right? So what we do is you take 431 and you divide by 2, which is going to be 215.5, and you round up to the next larger number, which is 216. So the median is going to be the 216th number in that list. So let's just bring our cursor down to 216. And it is, so this is the median. So the median is equal to 229. So that's doing it the long way. At least we didn't have to order the numbers manually. To do the, okay, sorry. Yeah, slow me down if I get going too fast. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, so what you do is you highlight these two cells like that, and then you drag it. So I'm just going to do a few of them.
Oh, okay. I was only highlighting one.
Yeah, yeah. So just highlight both cells. So, well, so you should be able to. Oh, lights. There you go. Highlight both cells, and just take that and drag it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so what you do is you, so we're going to just put 1 and then 2, and then highlight those two cells. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. You're okay. Let's go back again. 1, 2. Okay, so you can't highlight. What you do is you highlight them both like this, and then you drag it down. So then you just pull that down all the way down to the bottom. Down to 431. And then it numbers them. You have, yeah, you had 432. I wonder why I got 431. What did I do? Because I assumed it was 431. Let me see why. I don't know if I accidentally deleted some data or what. 431. Pardon me? Yeah. How many people have 432? How many have 431? Okay, so so it's not me. I wondered if I was doing something wrong. If you had if you had an even number, then you'd have to do it slightly differently. But I don't know what happened there. So if you had 432, the difference is that, and I'm not sure how that's happened. So you would take the 432 and divide by 2, and then you would average the 2 that number that's divisible, the number you get by dividing by 2 plus the next one. Anyway, so the built-in function is called, well, you have to use equals and median. So a function is always equals something, otherwise it thinks it's text. And what I want to do is I want to take the values from the beginning, and in this case I'm just going to enter them manually, because you can see that sometimes dragging things takes a while, so sometimes it's easier just to enter the numbers. And sorry, let me So this actually is a label. I'm going to do my equation over here. So median, and it's going to be A1 through A431 because my data starts in row 1 in this case. Yep. Yeah, sometimes I have to make it smaller so I can get to the menu, but you're right. Yeah, pardon me, for yours, since you've got one extra data point, yeah, you would go to 432 instead of 431 to include all your data. So what I did was I wrote, let me just show you the what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sometimes it's small so it's easier to just copy it to something that's bigger so you can see it. I'll have to switch. Well, for the people who are online, you can see it because hopefully you've got your, you're looking at the screen here, whereas people here are further away. So I'm just, you'll see it disappear every once in a while. That's just to make sure. So this is what the equation should look like. So it says equals median left parenthesis A1 colon A431 if you have 431 data points. If you have 432 data points, put 432. Oh, yeah, let's go back. So I answer your question there. Where did I? Oh, back here. So it doesn't matter. Just so what I did here was this was doing it visually, manually. So this was just putting the number in. I looked at for me, because I had an odd number of data points, my number was the 216th data point. So what I did for you, it would be 216. Yeah. So put your manually determined median in 216 and your computer determined median in 217. And we should get the same number because, yeah, the formula was equals median. You can see that, sure. Except you do 432 instead of 431. Okay, so the point is, for median, manually, whether you do it by hand or whether you do it in a spreadsheet, is you order the data from smallest to largest. I put numbers next to the rows so I can easily figure out which row I need to go to, which is the one that's in the middle. And for an odd number of data points, you take the number of data points divided by 2, you'll get a fraction, you round up to the next higher number. You go to that row, that number that's in that row is the median value. Whereas if you have an even number, what you would do is you would end up with 216 instead of 215.5. So you take the 216th number plus the 217th number and you divide by 2. What's that says? Okay, let me look and see what it is. Median reference does not exist. So we said A1 colon A432, right, front C. Okay, well, let's see what's in your, let's check out your data. Oh, for some reason it's got, yeah, it's got some number in there you accidentally probably got in there. So, oh, that was the average thing. I'm just going to put, that's probably where you got that extra data point. Somehow that got stuck in there. So I'm just going to put a number in there, which is 63, just so it's in the same sequence. Now if you go back and do it, that's what it was doing. It had a data point that was both, yeah. who knows? It doesn't really matter. So that was why the calculation wasn't working. So what's the middle? 216. Okay. So if you go up here, yeah, I'm not sure where that came from either. What is that? See what it says. Oh, that's your median calculation. 229. Yeah, it is at 216. Yeah, so it did it right. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. What happened there is, that's usually what drives people crazy when they're using these things. Adriana somehow got the average equation got moved accidentally into the middle of the data. So when it tried to calculate the median, it had one data point that was bad, and so it wouldn't cooperate. It says something's crazy. So okay. Oh, is there? Okay, just take it to the library then. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always afraid there's a meeting scheduled and I have somebody over there. Okay. What's that? Yeah. Huh?
So I did the median equation,
yeah.
Just a numerical set to make sure that it was going to say 216, and it does. But when I do it for the actual A values, it gives me 229.
The median of
the entire A column, and I did the median of that.
Yeah.
Just to check.
Oh, you're using Excel too, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, we're using the Google Docs spreadsheet thing. Probably because we.
That's why I'm confused. I've got. I think I have Docs.
Okay. So. Okay. It's okay. That's why we're here.
That's 229, but median's not there. Why is that not there?
Oh, that was I just put a word in there. So I just typed in median.
Oh, okay.
It was just a way to describe what that number meant.
Okay.
So if you put that equation over here, then so if you just put median next to it on the right, that'd be fine. That way, it was just a way of describing what that number is. Why did I put that number there? So I just entered it as a text. Okay, so we figured out how to do the mean and the median. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do the, let's see what we're going to do next. Okay, yeah, I want everybody to do this just so they have their computer set up correctly. We're going to go ahead and install the add-on that you'll need to do histograms. We're going to install the add-on that's needed to do histograms. Yeah, just follow along, and it all makes sense. So go up here to add-on. You won't have this because you haven't done this class before. Go to Get Add-ons. Yep. And you're going to search. In the search bar, you're going to put in histogram. Histogram, okay? Push Enter. And you'll see that there's a number of choices. The one that you want to pick is this Excel Miner Analysis Tool Pack, and yours should say free, right? Is that what it says? Anybody? Yeah. Yeah, while they're getting that, so click on the little blue button that says free. What that'll do is it'll install it onto your Google Drive, so you'll have that available for the project. So let me just get you going the other place because you're doing Excel instead of that. Yeah. So let's go here. And but you downloaded it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
documents.
yeah. So what we'll do is we'll open that up, and you'll import the data. Let's see, Firefox. Okay, I guess that doesn't really work. Yeah, it works anyway. Okay, so we get import. And upload. Select file from your computer. There it is. Place the current sheet. Import. Okay, so there's the data. And actually what Josh told me was I go down here to the bottom. If I do shift like that, and then I can do Control C, and I'm going to paste that data into my new sheet, Control V, and there's your data. And then we can sort the data like that. So now all you have to do is you have to put that number column in there. Okay, so once you've put that in, you can close it. I'm not sure what happens because I've already installed it. So I think once you do that, you close your add-on thing. And when you go to data now, you should see, not that, yeah, well, oh, actually if you go to add-ons, you should see Excel Miner Analysis Toolpack, okay? So now when you do your project, you'll have it available. Did everybody get that installed? Okay, good. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the histogram associated with this data. So on the same table, go up to the top, and the data goes from 86 to, what's the biggest value? 600 and something? 621. Okay, so write that down on a piece of paper. 86 to 621. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to break that data up into different classes. So if we subtract those two numbers, so you're going to get approximately 540, right? Approximately. So if you broke that up into 5 classes, if you divided that by 5, so if we divide that by 5, you're going to get approximately 100. So if we had increments of 100, we'd have probably 5 classes. If we take the difference and we divide by 10, we're going to, well, by 12, we're going to get approximately, what is that? Where's my calculator? What we're doing here is we're just trying to figure out how we're going to set up our classes for our histogram. So if we take the total difference, divide by 12 classes, we get about 45. So it seems like that a good choice for the number of, the size of each class would be 50. That would give us approximately 12 classes. And because we have 432 data points, that seems like a reasonable choice. The more data that you have, the more easily you can have more classes. So we don't have to start. What we're going to do is we're going to start at 100. So type in 100 into this cell right here. So 100. And then if you type 150, that defines that the class width is 50. You'll highlight both cells, and you'll just drag it down far enough so that we can get up to about 600 and something. So, instead of doing the math, I'm just going to drag it far enough that it's going to work out. And the biggest number was 621, so we don't need to go up to 700, so we can delete that. So what we want is we want to have numbers from 100 to 650. You could have just entered those numbers manually. That was just a short way of doing it. So I have my data. I have my classes. This is going to be everything less than 100. This is between 150 and 100, and so forth. So to do the histogram, all we have to do is go to Add-ons, choose the Excel Miner Analysis Toolpack, and Start. And on the right-hand side, you'll have this box. And these are all these different statistical functions that are built in to this and also Excel, but we're going to use this. So you go down and you see histogram. So you click histogram and you'll have these choices. Okay. Again, I can manually enter the range that I want to use instead of highlighting it. And because there's so much data, it's probably easier to do that way. So I'm going to pick A1 colon A431 because the data is in column A and it starts in row 1. It goes all the way to row 431 or 432 if you've accidentally got one extra. The bin range, these are the bins, which are the classes. So if I backspace, I'm going to put, I don't know what column your data is in, but it might, if it's in D, you go D1 colon, and I've got to figure out how far to go down. So it's D12. That's where the data stops. So I'm just going to put D12. So D1 colon D12. So that's where the class information is. The output, I'm going to put in E1. It keeps choosing the cell that you have your thing at, but you can enter it manually. So it's going to put the data here. And I want a chart output. So those are the 4 things that we need. We need to show where the data is. We need to show where the class information is. We need to tell them where to put the output. And ask us whether we want a chart. That's it. Everybody ready to go here? So, okay. So it should be there. So there's the data. So go ahead and close the tool pack. Everything's so if you take your cursor up, you'll see that this is the frequency distribution for the data. So what it's saying is that there are 5 data points less than 100, a value of 100. There are 59 data points between 150 and 100. There are 70 data points between 200 and 150 and so forth. And if you look at it, you know, you can see the class that has the most is from 200 to 250. And if let's just look down, see if there's anything that looks unusual. No, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and delete the more part. So just highlight that and then push delete. So that you could take that and move it somewhere else if you wanted to, and use it, copy it, and then make a nice table out of it as a frequency distribution. If you take your cursor over to the right-hand side, you'll see your graph. Yes? Okay, let me see what you got. And if you click on your graph, okay, so I don't know if you have to put the parentheses or not.
Well, I did it without the parentheses.
Oh, really? Okay. So what was it? A1 colon A431. E. Did you have D in there or E? Because you got to do, you put your data in column E, so you got to do E1 colon E12 E12. Is that what you had in there? Or is it F1? Oh, you've got okay. So you've got that. Let's delete that out of there. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I don't know what so it did work that time. Okay. Pardon me? Oh, okay. And
This fire, are you going through Firefox. I think it's
Oh.
a crappy security thing. Look
Allow.
Can you type it?
Let's do it again. Yeah, I didn't realize this. The problem with these computers is they lock them up, so you can't. They don't do the updates. So it probably has some outdated something on it, and it didn't allow you to do that. That's what was going on, I think.
It's okay if it does work, because I understand how you did it. The only thing that's like,
Yeah, I don't know why it's. Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing this. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure why it's doing it on these. But yours worked, so I'm not sure why some of them are working and some of them not working. Anyway, if you understand what we're doing, that's great. And then all you have to do is, once to edit the graph, you click on the graph, and you click on the corner, and you say Advanced Edit. And what pops up is this. So you just have to go through and make the changes. You know, it's not quite like Excel, but you can make changes to the title here. So go ahead and change the title to something, crude oil production or something like that. You can change the size of the title. You can, and then if you then go down further, you can mess with the axes. So I'm going to just put in histogram. I'll just say crude oil production. Okay, and when you push enter, it'll update that. And I could make the font bigger if I was just doing this. It's just a different dialog box than you would have in Excel. If you have a legend, you can get rid of the legend. We don't really need that because there's only one set of data. So, you know, those the normal things that you would do to make your graph look prettier, you could do. Now, here's one thing you want to try is click on the graph and then choose Move to Own Sheet, because I'm going to want you to have it on your own spreadsheet so that it shows up bigger, so it's easier to see at that point. So if I go back to my original sheet, you'll see that the graph is no longer there, it's just the data. So it has not just copied it, has moved it to a new sheet. So that's, is there anything else I want to say about that? Okay. Now we're going to start on something new, so if you didn't quite get all that done, we're going to start new again. Let's add another sheet. And like I said, I'm going to ask you to send this to me. If you don't get everything perfect, I'm not worried about that. I just want to see that you've actually been doing something during class instead of playing games or something like that. So that's the purpose of you sending it to me, that you have been engaged somewhat in there. So I've created a new sheet. We're going to do the standard deviation calculation. Yeah. I knew he was working on it, so I'm okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take that same set of data that we used for the histogram. We're going to do standard deviation on that. So go back to either the first or second sheet, doesn't matter. And what we want to do is we want to copy that data again. So again, what you can do to highlight all that data is you can click on the top cell, then take your cursor, go all the way down to the bottom, push Shift and then click, that highlights the data. And then do Control C, that's copying it. And then you go to your new sheet and do Control V. So we have our data back again. And actually, then go over to this left-hand cell. Let me make this bigger again. I had to make it smaller because of the menu. If you click on this cell right here, it'll highlight the entire row. And then you right-click and you insert. So we're going to insert a row above because I want to put some descriptors. So this is the data. This is going to be the deviation. And this is going to be the deviation squared. So we're going to do the same thing we did the other day, except you get a little practice at doing it. Now to calculate the deviation, you need the mean. So we need to put that calculation again on this spreadsheet. So go all the way down to the bottom of your data, and we'll put the mean calculation in there somewhere right in the end. And remember what cell you put it in. I'm going to leave a space here. And what you do is you put equals, average. It's going to be A1 colon whatever the last row you see, which is, for me, it's A432. Because actually it's from A2, sorry, because we have the header row. So it's from A2 to A432. Put the right parenthesis, push enter. So the mean is 264 point something. So I'm going to write the cell number. We're down. What do I do with my pen? It's average. So it's average left parenthesis, and I put my marker. Oh, there it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write down it's in A434. So that's the location of the mean. I can use that later. Okay, so you should get 464 approximately. So now go back all the way back up to the top of the spreadsheet. So the deviation is going to be equal to, so you put equals, left parenthesis, click on cell A2, the one right next to it, then do minus, and for me, hopefully you had the same one, it's A434, so I'm going to put a $sign, $sign 434, pardon me, $sign A, $sign 434. So that gives me the cell which had the mean in it. And then I put a right parenthesis. I actually didn't need the parentheses, but so what that's saying, that calculation is saying that 86 is 178.9 lower than the mean. And this one will be slightly, not as far, less than the mean. So we're going to do that. And what you normally do is you do all the formulas in the first row, and then you just copy both rows. So the deviation squared, what you're going to do there is go equals. You're going to click on the cell, which is the deviation. Use the little hat, which is Shift 6, and put a 2. So that's squared. And that should be some big number, because it's basically 179 squared. So that's the deviation squared. Everybody got that? Okay, so let me come back here. So the deviation is equal. Put the equal sign in there. Did you do the mean calculation? Yes. Okay, so put equals, and then click on cell A1. Yep, and then subtract, minus, and then put $sign. And what was this? It was A, so put A, and then $sign, and whatever row you had the mean in. Do you remember what it was? It's probably well, it might be 433. Yeah, there you go. I actually did the calculus. So push enter, and then move your cursor back up to the top. So that's, yeah, there you go. So that's deviation, and then the next one you just say equals that cell, and then shift there. So you get a little hat thing, squared. Push enter. Go ahead and push enter. Okay. Okay. Let's see what you got here. Oh, you got a missing. You got to push this. You got a parenthesis that's not matching up. You don't need the parentheses, so it'll work. And then the next one, you put equals. Click on that cell. Put a little hat. So it's shift 6. Actually, go back here. So it's shift there, and then put a 2, and then push enter. Pardon me?
Are you going to send this thing?
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually do another video that you can watch, and then you can do the project side by side. It's just I wanted you to do it in class one day. Let's see. Yeah, because you didn't go. The cell you referenced is actually in the data. It wasn't the average value. So let's see. I don't know how far you went. Down here. Don't worry, everybody gets this project done. So it's 433. Yeah, no. Once you have the video, you'll be fine. It's just I didn't want that to be your only. So if you put this is an opportunity for us to do it together. There you go. So as you were referencing a cell that was actually one of the data cells instead of the cell that was the mean. Okay. Now we're going to go sideways and highlight those 2 cells. And you see that little square thing comes up. So then you click on that and you drag it all the way down to the bottom of your data, not including your average. So I'm just dragging that thing down. To there. And so what that does is it'll copy every it'll copy those 2 formulas down, and because the formulas referenced, it'll keep changing this number, but it won't change that number. So it updates, and you can see these 621 is 356 greater than this number. If you add this number plus that number, you get that number. Okay, so these are the deviations. These are the ones that are larger, the ones at the beginning that are smaller. You square them. So remember the formula for standard deviation is the sum of the squares of the deviations. So we have the squares of the deviations. What we need to do now is add all those numbers up. So in this column, we'd go equals sum, which is the command for adding things. Depending upon whether you had a header row, some of you didn't put a header row, you're either going to put A2 or A1. Because I have a header which has I go A, so it's A2 through A432. So that adds all those numbers together. All of the numbers in column C. So you get 114,197. The equation was equals sum, left parenthesis, whatever your first cell of data was, which for me was A2 because I had the headers, and then you do colon, and then you do the last cell, which is whatever this one is right here. Oh, you're right. Very good. I was thinking about that. I thought that was too much of a coincidence that it came out to be a number, so it should have been C. You're right, sorry. And I should have gone with my instinct. I was like, that seems weird that it came out to be a non-decimal number. Yeah. Yeah, so it should have been column C. What I did there is I added up all the numbers in column A, which I didn't really want to. No, you should do C1 colon C. Yeah, I should have added all the numbers on the column C. That was my mistake. And again, that's, you know, the old theory, something sounds good to be true, it probably is. The fact that all those numbers with all those extra digits added up to not to be a whole number was, I thought that was weird. But of course I was in the middle of explaining things, so I didn't think about it hard enough. But okay. So what that number is adding up all the squares of the deviations. So the standard deviation is equal. So we'll do the formula for the standard deviation. It's equal to, you put SQRT, that stands for square root. You do a right parenthesis. We click on the data that we have, which is the sum of the squares of the deviations. And we divide by, and we put a left parenthesis, and we have 431 data points minus 1. So it's n minus 1. And we put a right parenthesis to match one of the left parentheses, and then we put another right parenthesis. So you have to have 2 left and 2 right parentheses. So that is the standard deviation, 120. The built-in function, you go E equals STDEV for standard deviation. And what we would do is, for our built-in function, we would just specify the data, where the data is. So my data is A2 through A432. So you can see it's highlighting that data. Instead of me going and highlighting it, I just entered it. And if I push enter, I should get exactly the same number, which I do. Okay. So again, what I did in the last few minutes here, well, actually, what I want you to do right now, because we only got 4 minutes left, is this gets saved automatically, but go up to the top of the spreadsheet. It says Untitled Spreadsheet. Put class March 2nd, okay? And put your name. So that's now it's been named class March 2nd, Steve Nicholson. Okay. You'll do the same thing when you do the project. Now, if you click on a file, and I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. Yeah. The last calculation? Yeah, what I did is equals STDEV, left parenthesis, and then I specified the range of the data that I was doing the standard deviation on, which was this. So it's A2 colon A432, right parenthesis. Yeah, okay, so what you'll do is you'll email as an attachment. So send it as a Excel file and send it to me, snicholson@dslc2c.edu. And the subject is the name of the file. So again, email as an attachment, send as an Excel file, put my address in there. If you go down to the bottom, all you have to do is push send, and that'll send me. And so what I will see here, just to show you, is so Adriana sent me hers. So here so that's what'll happen. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that's how it works. this will be saved, so if we want to look at it again, we can. But anyway, the only thing that we haven't done so far, there's two things we haven't done. One is to do the z-score, which is really simple, and the second one is to just do descriptive statistics, which is like the histogram but easier. So there's not much left that we haven't covered for what we're going to do for the project, but there will be a video explaining exactly what to do for the project. So you can, if you don't, I would ask you to try to do as much yourself without referring to the video, but you can always go back and look at that and get it exactly right. Yes. Yes, I'll have you in that. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and shut down the computers, I would appreciate it. D-E-V. Yeah. S-T-D. E-V. S-T-E-V-D-V. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Right here.
Yes. Yeah, something's wrong. I think you squared this column. You should be squaring this column. Yeah. So it should be B2 instead of A2. So you should be able to, yeah, just put B2 in there. Yeah, you go to, did you change the title? Yeah, okay. So email is an attachment. Then pick Excel up here. Put my address in there, S. Nicholson. Yeah, you already have it. And then just send. And that'll send it to me. Okay. Yeah, I think so. So that's the sum. So then you have to use the equation which says equals square root SQ RT. Yeah. And then click on this cell, the one above it, and then slash the other one. Yeah, the one at the bottom. That one there. Then left parenthesis. 431 minus 1. Right, 2 right parentheses. Push enter. Yeah, 120. Yeah. It's 2DV. And then you put a left parenthesis, and then you go A. A 2, I guess, A2 colon A 432, right parenthesis. Yep. And go to File, Email as Attachment. Take Excel, and then put in S. Nicholson. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Then push send. And then just shut down. Thank you.